Coming up next here on Locked On Devils, we are high above the Shark Tank as the New Jersey Devils are set to find out, are they friends or food, as they are set to take on the San Jose Sharks. And we're going to be previewing that right here, right now, next on Locked On Devils. Cue the intro.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. And, of course, thank you for being your first listen every day, wherever you may be, here on Locked On Devils, your team every day. My name is Zach Berman. I am here physically at the SAP Center here in this beautiful open-air press box. What a nice building. It is Sharks Alumni Night. I've seen former New Jersey Devils Stanley Cup winner Jeff Friesen's name flashed up on the Jumbotron, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's part of these ceremonies. But it is the New Jersey Devils set to take on the San Jose Sharks. Devils 8-2-0, coming off their first loss since opening night in Colorado against the 2-6-2 San Jose Sharks. Sharks have won 2 out of their last 3 games, although they are coming off a tough loss on Frozen Frenzy night here in this building against the Los Angeles Kings, where despite outshooting the Kings 40-14, they could not solve Darcy Kemper enough to win that game. They lost 4-3. The New Jersey Devils, on the other hand, we all know what happened. Jacob Markstrom allowed 8 goals to snap the New Jersey Devils' 8-game win streak in Denver on Tuesday night. It is now Thursday. I'm trying to keep track of time here a little bit with the time change. I know it's a late night for you guys back in New Jersey. I know it's also pouring. Apparently there's a nor'easter that came up the coast, so hope you're staying dry and hope you're staying up late for this one. It will be a 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time puck drop, 7 p.m. here in San Jose. You can find that game on ESPN Plus. If you're out of the market, you can find it on NBC Sportsnet Northern California, as well as MSG Sports Network. There you go. NBC Sports Bay Area, excuse me. So close. But first and foremost, we'll talk goalie matchups. It will be Jake Allen bringing his undefeated start to this season and his 1.93 goals allowed into the Shark Tank to face off against Alex Nedeljkovic, former Pittsburgh Pirate. I just said Pittsburgh Pirate, didn't I? Former Pittsburgh Penguin and Detroit Red Wing. Oh, that was rough. I'd feel bad if he was a Pittsburgh Pirate. They're not in the best situation as an organization. Maybe they'll trade him alongside Paul Skeens. I don't know. But Ned has a 1-2 record this year, 1-2-1 with an 8.47 save percentage, 4 goals allowed per game. He has been the better of the 2 Sharks goalies. The Devils saw Yaroslav Askarov last Friday night in Newark, with, of course, New Jersey winning that game 3-1. I have the ref information already. It will be Wes McCauley and Corey Siveret, with the linesmen being David Brisebois and Kyle Flemington. Gotta love a Wes McCauley game. Always fun to see him pull his theatrics. But to get into the nitty-gritty, of course, New Jersey winning last week's matchup in Newark 3-1. Dougie Hamilton had 2 goals, and Connor Brown tallied the empty netter as well. Jake Allen, a great night in net last Friday, although the Devils had their power play or their penalty kill streak snatched away on a goal by William Eklund early in the first period. That would be the only goal San Jose scored. Now, this is a little bit different in terms of the Sharks team that the Devils are going to see, as well as the Devils team the Sharks are going to see. No Brett Pesce is obviously as pertinent of a situation as you're going to have with the Devils defense corps. And Sheldon Keefe has shaken up the defensive pairings this morning after what was a tough go in Colorado, although I would go so far to say that was more on Jacob Markstrom than anything else. Sheldon Keefe said that it was more so on the team. So we're getting a little bit of a differing messages here. Markstrom was pretty bad. He allowed 4 power play goals on 0.56 goals expected. Wasn't a great night. But, of course, he was asked about what happened with one of the league's best penalty kills in Colorado, and Sheldon Keefe's response was, yeah, we were missing Brett Pesce. You could see where those McKinnon goals came from, and that's exactly where 22 Brett Pesce would be standing, and a lot of those pucks aren't finding their way in. Yeah, Brett Pesce leading the league in shot blocks per game before he went down with an upper body injury. Hopefully he is not out for too long. That injury was sustained last Sunday against Colorado, but because of Brett Pesce's injury, the defense has been shuffled. Siegenthaler Hamilton now back on the first pairing. We've seen that pairing the last few years between both Lindy Ruff and Sheldon Keefe. So good to see 71 and 7 back together. Siegs and Hamilton, of course, have a ton of chemistry built up. And it's a nice yin and yang. You have Siegs, who is so good in his own end, versus Dougie, who's one of the better offensive defensemen in the Metropolitan Division. Second pairing staying as Brendan Dillon, Shimon Nemec. Nemec, another good night against Colorado. Should have had a penalty shot. I don't know how that happened, but he has been, I don't know how it wasn't a penalty shot, should I say, but he has been good in his last few games. We're excited to see more of what Shimon Nemec brings to the table. I think a lot of Devils fans should be excited about what Shimon Nemec has been bringing, and he has definitely been like the point of scrutiny among the team thus far, at least until Markstrom came back and had his stinker on Tuesday night. Now, the third pairing is where things get a little interesting. No longer Luke Hughes with Jonas Siegenthaler, but rather we have a Michigan Wolverine pairing of Luke Hughes and Seamus Casey. Now, I wonder what that's going to look like in their own end. I think Sheldon Keefe's going to try and avoid putting those two players on against this young, powerful San Jose Sharks forward core. Like, they are going to be gangbusters in the offensive end, but Casey had a rough game yesterday. Granted, that was against a Stanley Cup contender in Colorado, and you get the sense that if Keefe isn't careful, we could see some odd man rushes, some prime scoring chances for this young, talented San Jose Shark forward core against that Casey and Hughes pairing. Otherwise, forward core stays the same. First line being Andre Palat on the left wing, Jack Hughes centering, and Jesper Bratt right wing. Former San Jose Shark, always a homecoming for him. Timo Meier left wing on the second line, being centered by the captain, Nico Hischier, right wing Dawson Mercer, who has been quite solid, had another nice game against the Avalanche, scored on Tuesday night. He's up to 9 points. That's fourth highest in the league, tied with, his line mate Timo Meier. That third line, Juho Lammikko held his own, I thought, against Colorado. He is centering Arseny Gritsyuk and Connor Brown. Fourth line stays the same with Luke Glendening centering Paul Cotter on the left, Stefan Nason on the right. Their former Shark, Stefan Nason, had a quick stop here. Already walked through the defense, and Jake Allen in goal for San Jose. San Jose lines, again, the Sharks have not played since Tuesday night. See what David Warsofsky has put out ahead of today's contest. First and foremost, Shakir Mukhamadullin, the former New Jersey Devil first-round pick, coming in with Adam Gaudette going to injured reserve. Shakir Mukhamadullin was traded alongside a package that included a first-round pick that became Quentin Musty, a few other prospects, and Nikita Ahotuk. Oh, and Andreas Janssen. One of these days, Steve Dangle's going to have to make the trade tree video. That's going to be fun. But for San Jose, your lines will be Tyler Toffoli, the former New Jersey Devil, on the top left wing, Will Smith on the top right wing, and he is, of course, centered by former first overall pick, phenom, one of the most exciting young players in the National Hockey League, Macklin Celebrini. Second line, centered by Alex Wenberg, Philip Kurashev on the right wing, William Eklund, who scored the lone Sharks goal in New Jersey last week. He is on the left. Third line, Ty Dellandrea centering Colin Graff on the left, former Quinnipiac Bobcat, Jeff Skinner on the right, and Patrick Giles on the fourth line, centering Barclay Goodrow and Ryan Reeves. Defensive pairings for San Jose, it will be Dmitry Orlov and Timothy Liljegren on the first line, Mario Ferraro and John Klingberg second pairing, and Sam Dickinson, Shakir Mukhamadullin third pairing. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, going to get a little bit more into tonight's contest, as well as what it would mean for the New Jersey Devils to win this game following their showing in Denver on Tuesday. You are listening or watching Locked On Devils. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there is no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of a game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So, head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Welcome back here, Locked On Devils. I'm Zach Berman. Just a few other things of note about tonight's game. First and foremost, perhaps a little bit surprising, Michael Misa, the San Jose third overall pick this past draft, sitting tonight. Sharks head coach Ryan Warsofsky is saying it's kind of a load management situation, saying that he's just played a lot of hockey this week, so he's got to manage it. Going back on the goalie matchup, Jake Allen, his career against San Jose, he's played 16 games, of course, spending so much time in the Western Conference with the St. Louis Blues. A large majority of those games came with his time in St. Louis. Of course, that was also when the Sharks were in their heyday, the early and mid-2010s. That team eventually ended up making it all the way to the finals in 2016. But his career against San Jose, 8-6-2, a goals against average of 2.09, a save percentage of .930. Yes, he has been quite good against San Jose in his career, and that includes last Friday's win back in Newark. On the other hand, Alex Nedeljkovic has a 3-1-1 record against the Devils. He has a .910 save percentage, allowing 2.57 goals per game. He actually has never played the Devils as a San Jose Shark. Well, that would make sense considering he just came to San Jose. These are coming off of 3 games as a Detroit Red Wing and then 2 games as a Pittsburgh Penguin. The one coming in the most recent matchup where the Devils saw Nedeljkovic on February 4th, where he failed to win in a shootout. Definitely a big quote. I believe it was after Tuesday night's game from Nico Hischier, who said, well, yeah, after a game like that, you're not happy. It's about the character we show, the way we come out tonight. It's going to be a big game for us. So the Devils are looking to get a response going. And I've touched on it so many times over the last few shows that the California trip has been really, really difficult for the Devils the last 2 seasons. It's really defined their last 2 seasons. This is the first of 3 games in California. Of course, the only game up in the Bay Area, with Anaheim and LA coming Sunday and Saturday nights respectively after a day off tomorrow. I actually drove past the Devils plane parked at the San Jose airport, so odds are they're going to take to the skies and head down to SoCal once this game is done. And really, that's all there is to it. You have a team that has started off on an incredible hot streak. They've won 8 of 10. At worst, they are going to end tonight 8-3-1. Or, oh my gosh, at worst, they are going to end tonight 8-3 or 9-2. So really a month of October to remember for the New Jersey Devils. Now, this is a game against a team that the Devils have struggled to beat in San Jose. They lost last year 3-2. You remember that goal by Cody Ceci right at the end of regulation that beat Jacob Markstrom. The Devils, of course, not going with Jacob Markstrom tonight, but rather Jake Allen. They're going to have to play Markstrom at some point in Southern California, so I understand there's a little bit of hesitancy there. They're going with the better goalie they have right now in Jake Allen. This is a game that I don't want to come out and say the Devils will win, even though my heart of hearts, I think they will. San Jose is not one of those teams where the record should fool you. They're obviously not going to be contending for much this year, but at the same time, you have just such a dangerous, talented young core, almost very reminiscent of what the Devils put together a few years ago with the likes of Celebrini, Smith, Eklund. Misa, of course, isn't playing tonight. But they're a team that got 41 shots on goal against a very talented LA Kings defense 2 nights ago. They can blitz you. We saw that in the early goings of the game last week, where San Jose just comes out boom, 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 and their young talent is going to carry them a long way towards becoming an eventual contender in the years to come. I think this is a game that the Devils need to win. It's not a must-win. It's game 11 of the season, but this would be a really good opportunity to stop the bleeding that would start from a tough loss in Colorado, because then you have a back-to-back against 2 teams that also have had the Devils' number, considering that California has not been too kind to them. This is a game that I think they will win, but I would not be surprised if they don't win. I know that's like the most vague description possible, but if you're a Devils fan, I think you understand what I'm saying. Like, it has been a hallmark of this team over the last few years to play down to competition. We have not seen that yet this year, but at the same time, in an 82-game season, you're going to have games that are annoying, that are frustrating. I think the Devils win this game in overtime. I'm going to go out and say they win 3-2 in OT against the San Jose Sharks. We're going to take another quick break. When we return, just going to wrap things up here on Locked On Devils, live from the SAP Center. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch. Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between 401ks, savings, and investments, it's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why I started using Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. How has Monarch helped me? It's helped me organize my accounts, track my spending, and get a better handle on my investments without having to touch a spreadsheet. I love that I can review everything with my partner, see our shared goals, and make better financial decisions together. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at Monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's Monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. Welcome back to the Shark Tank. Locked On Devils ahead of tonight's contest between the New Jersey Devils and the San Jose Sharks. Busy night across the National Hockey League tonight. The New Jersey Devils still tied atop the Metropolitan Division at the moment with 8 wins, 2 losses. That's good for an 800-point percentage and 16 points, tied in points with the Pittsburgh Penguins. How about the Penguins? 7-2-2 under new head coach Dan Muse. You wonder how long that's going to hold on. And, of course, in third place, a 3-way tie between Carolina, Washington, Columbus. New Jersey also tied with Montreal for the lead in the East, as well as Utah and Colorado for the lead in the West. On the other hand, San Jose, all the way down at the bottom of the Pacific Division right now, with their record of 2-6-2. Actually, not at the bottom. 2-8-1 Calgary, a point below, and there's been a lot of buzz that maybe Nazem Kadri could be on the move from the Flames. I would love to see him in a Devils uniform. Granted, the contract would need perhaps some retention. Maybe Andre Palat could be part of the package going the other way in order to make that fit. Kadri, his playoff expertise, a skilled, great locker room guy, a center that can also play top six wing if need be. I think Kadri would be an absolute dream in the Devils lineup if they could get him out. But apparently, Calgary might not be intent on selling, which I would find surprising given I think they need to sell. But busy night across the league. Carolina over the Islanders already, 3-1. That game just started the second period in Raleigh. It has been really tough for Ilya Sorokin, assuming he is in net. Yes, he is not in net. It is David Riddick, it's been tough for him too. 3 goals on 11 shots already for Carolina Hurricanes. So Carolina looks like they're going to be trending closer to that 16-point mark. Hey, Matthew Schaefer scored his 3rd career goal. I think he's front runner right now to win the Calder if he stays healthy. He's just been spectacular. Flyers have the lead on Nashville right now towards the end of the second period, 2-1. Trevor Zegras and Jamie Drysdale scoring for the Fly Guys. Elsewhere in the Metro, Penguins losing 1-0 in St. Paul it's not the XL Energy Center anymore. It is, I'm forgetting the name of their building now. It's going to bother me. That's really going to bother me. Grand Casino Arena. That's something I would never remember if I didn't have the internet right here in front of me. But Wild up late in the first period, just got a power play, 1-0, thanks to Kirill Kaprizov, his 7th goal of the season. And then lastly, in the Metro, you have the Rangers at Rogers Place tonight in Edmonton. That's tipping off, should I say the puck drop, an hour before our puck drop here in San Jose. That will just about do it here for Locked On Devils. Tomorrow, I'll recap this game here in San Jose tonight, as well as the Devils' Southern California swing with games against the Kings and Ducks coming up over the weekend. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Devils, and hey, stay dry back home because apparently it is just gross with the nor'easter. But yeah, thank you for tuning in.